24 hours before Against All Odds, another fantastic night of action here on Access TV. Moments ago in London, Ontario, Canada, the fans have filed their way out here of the Agriplex in London, and we are still processing everything that's happened, considering Against All Odds tomorrow night, a huge matchup for the Impact World Championship. Steve Macklin defending against the #1 contender, Alex Shelley. We're going to get to that in a moment, but also at Against All Odds tomorrow night, it'll be opponents come Slammiversary. The Knockouts World Champion Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity up against Savannah Evans and Giselle Shaw in a tag team matchup. That goes down tomorrow night live in Columbus, Ohio. Earlier on tonight, we got to see a double sit-down interview. Gia Miller speaking with both Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity. You heard what they had to say. What did you read between the lines in those interviews?
Well, I alluded to it last week right here on the post show. I mean, whenever these situations come around, they seem to be on the same page. And with their words, on the surface, they're on the same page. They made it clear, hey, you don't got to worry about me until Slammiversary. When we're across the ring from each other, the title's on the line. Tomorrow night, at Against All Odds, we're going to take care of business. And I'm sure a lot of people believe that. Call me a skeptic. You know what I mean? But these competitors have to have in the back of their minds that one of the biggest matches of their career is on the horizon at Slammiversary. If you don't think, they're not thinking about that. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ring is a very angry and dangerous, as we've seen, Giselle Shaw with her backup, Savannah Evans. You know Jay Vidal's going to be there too. So they're going to have all the cards as far as teamwork goes in their side of the ring.
Let's see if that loaded handbag.
Yeah, no kidding. What the hell is in that?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know, but still.
More cinder blocks, bowling balls.
Yeah, after what we saw in the main event of Under Siege, anything's possible, I guess. But seriously, I can't overstate how important it is. What is going to go down at Slammiversary, July 15th, live in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, at the St. Clair College Sportsplex, live on pay-per-view, Fight TV, and DAZN internationally. Purrazzo versus Trinity, first time ever matchup for the Knockouts World Championship. One of the biggest matchups in Impact's history, no doubt, as we celebrate our Slammiversary. Now, before we get to Slammiversary, tomorrow night at Against All Odds, there will be a championship match. The Digital Media Championship will be defended. Joe Hendry putting his title on the line once again against Dirty Dango. We keep coming back to this. Hendry does not have to put his title on the line to go and fight Dango. Hendry is being an honorable champion. He wants to. He's willing to put his longest digital media championship reign on the line against Dango.
And I keep wondering, and as much as, again, that's another thing, great, fighting champion, there's a lot to respect there, but I have to be wondering, especially seeing this change we've seen in Dirty Dango, it kind of doesn't care. But I mean, he's just angry at wrestling, angry at the boys in the back, angry about all sorts of things. And especially after seeing him get himself disqualified at Under Siege, is this all a ploy by Dango to get Joe Hendry exactly where he wants him? He's baiting Hendry into continually putting the championship on the line, manipulating. I don't know. Maybe I've known Dango long enough. I mean, you know him.
Yeah.
The brother's weird and gets stuff done in a weird way when he needs to.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was a ploy. I also think Dango's been harboring these feelings for a very long time. And especially the entertaining little piece that Joe Hendry put together earlier on tonight. I can say personally that everything Joe Hendry said with his music video earlier on tonight is 1,000% accurate.
That was Joe Hendry in that video? What? I thought it was Dango and Summer and Eva. Oh,
when we come back here on the Impact Post Show, we're going to dive into more of what's going on at Against All Odds, especially the situation surrounding the Impact World Championship.
Against the winds of doubt and the storms of uncertainty, we persist. We forge ahead. We don't wait for permission. On June 9th, we create our own rules. Defying the odds is not just a choice, it's the only way. We refuse to accept mediocrity. Instead, we conquer and thrive. Impact Wrestling presents Against All Odds, live tomorrow night on Impact Plus and Fight.
Fans have made their way out of the Agriplex here in London, Ontario, Canada. Our coverage continues here on the Post Show. We are still trying to wrap our heads around what is going to go down tomorrow night at Against All Odds live in Columbus, Ohio. This is going to be unorthodox. It's a first-time ever matchup in Impact Wrestling. It's the 8-4-1 match. Now, how this starts is a 4-on-4 tag team matchup. 8 men. They will compete. The winning team, then that breaks down into a 4-way matchup where it's No countouts, no disqualifications. The winner of that matchup will move on to Slammiversary, July 15th in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, live on pay-per-view, Fight TV, and DAZN internationally to challenge whomever is the Impact World Champion. This has a lot of layers to it. We saw it break down in our main event, the tag team matchup between Moose, Swan. Those two did not get along, plus Gresham and Aldis, and then the brawl that ensued. How in the hell is this going to work tomorrow night?
I said that going into this match on broadcast tonight, because here's the thing. We often will see when there's these multi-man matches, sometimes they do a tag match. We'll do one in the weeks leading up. You got to coexist for a night, but whatever. Come the live special, come the live event. It's every man for himself. That's not true here. You had to maintain a team tonight, hopefully to get the win. And against all odds, you have to maintain some sense of teamwork in the opening part of the 8-4-1. Because if you want to go on to that number one contendership, you're going to have to win that 8-man tag portion. So you're going to have to suffer through some people you don't like, some tactics you don't like to get to that point and get to the number one contendership.
Yeah, and there's a lot of moving parts surrounding the 8-4-1 matches we just outlined, but just every man in that matchup has either been a world champion or has competed for a world championship. So the caliber is very high, but the two people I'm focusing on, Bully Ray, who wants to humiliate this company at Slammiversary, especially after what he did to Scott D'Amore at Under Siege with the Impact World Champion Steve Macklin. He wants to become a 3-time Impact World Champion on one of our most hallowed nights. And then Nick Aldis is trying to climb the ladder and get to the Impact World Championship at Slammiversary. Before any of that can happen, tomorrow night at Against All Odds, we've got to see who the world champion's going to be once we leave Columbus, Ohio, because Steve Macklin defends against Alex Shelley. I think, unfortunately, something that's being a bit lost in all this is that this is a 20-year journey for Alex Shelley, and that as lackadaisical as he might have appeared last week on Access TV, just saying, yep, I'm coming after the Impact World title. Shelley has been thinking about this his entire career. How do you think this plays out in Columbus?
So here's the thing. You say lackadaisical, which, yeah, I mean, that's kind of Alex. If you get to know him personally, he comes off as that very casual, very calm, cool, collected. But in that exchange with Steve Macklin, I saw it as confidence. He didn't need to say anything else, right? Macklin was asking, you think you're going to beat me? You think you're going to walk out of Against All Odds as the champion? All you got to say is, yes, I do. Or, yeah. But my worry for Shelley here, especially after Under Siege and the bloodbath we saw, the lengths Macklin, what he's willing to do to retain his championship, if that's a sign of the kind of man that Shelley's going against one-on-one, I just hope he really, really knows what he's getting into.
And certainly ratcheted up the intensity in the main event last week against Subculture. We'll see if that helps him build momentum into tomorrow night. We hope you'll be tuning in or joining us in person in Columbus, Ohio. If you can't be there in Columbus, join us live on Impact Plus, Fight TV, and YouTube for our Ultimate Insiders at Against All Odds. It's going to be a huge night of action. He's the Drama King, Matthew Rehwoldt. I'm Tom Hannifan. We're going to hop on a plane and head to Ohio. Thanks so much for joining us.